Welcome, welcome, welcome back, family. This is another powerful episode with your favorite life coach, Black Jewel, Miss Jewel, preferably. But nonetheless, I am Black. And my co host, L. Thank you, L, for being here and all who tap in and listen. Um, I just want to say how grateful I am. Thank you. And if it wasn't for my life experience, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be thriving in the Gambia, clean and sober, and how important that is to just be in reality. So I want to say grateful to my new subscribers, my old subscribers, my day ones, and especially my family and my support. We're going to get in right into this episode 6, where it's taken from the big text and it's attraction. I'm going to open up with the reading from today. It says our public image consists of what we have to offer, a successful, proven way of maintaining a drug free life. Yes, we are attracting new members. More and more addicts are finding Narcotics Anonymous in any group. But how do we treat our newest members? When they arrive, worn out from their struggles with addiction, do we reach out to newcomers who are standing by themselves at our meetings, confused and uncertain? Are we willing to give them rides to the meetings? Do we still work one on one with the addict who suffers? Do we give out our phone numbers? Are we eager to go on a 12-step call, even if it means getting up from our comfortable beds in the middle of the night? Will we work with someone who has a different sexual orientation or is from another culture? Are we generous with the gift of our time? No doubt, we were met with love and acceptance by our fellow addicts. What attracted many of us to Narcotics Anonymous was the feeling that we had finally found a place where we belonged, or we offer that same sense of belonging to our community, to our new members, sorry. We cannot promote Narcotics Anonymous, but when we put principles into action in our own lives, we attract newer members to the NA way, just as we were attracted to recovery. Just for today, I will work with a newcomer. I will remember that I was once a newcomer myself. I will seek to attract others with the same sense of belonging I found in NA, or I like to say any program that you're in. Wow, and that's perfect for our step that we're on, step 3. Uh-oh.
With faith, right?
Yeah,
Being
faith.
able to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand God. I think what I liked about what you just read really emphasizes our responsibility within community. So I did kind of ask the question from the last episode, and if you all haven't watched it yet or listened to it yet, that's episode 5. Our last episode, we were on step 2, hope. And one of the things we talked about is in your weakness, you are strong. But even thinking about that, in your weakness, you are strong when you're in community, able to share your weakness and be vulnerable about your weakness and be honest about what your weaknesses are. You find the most strength. And I would argue, even say, you find your sense of faith within that, and also within your community as you sort of go through the process. I'm curious to know, how did you find your community, or did it come to you? It, did you have your community first, or did your community come as a result of you sort of even just being willing to change and being honest with yourself? I'm curious about how that happened for you.
My community was built around solidarity and just being honest and people started gravitating to me. So with any person getting clean, no, you don't just walk into a community like that. I was in Oregon, and it's very different. I can't even say it's different. Race comes up, and so in a lot of meetings they teach that race doesn't matter, we're just one addict to another, but that's not true. And anybody who sets up and say that race don't matter or plays a part, they're lying. And I wonder how people are dealing with community now that the office administrative teams have changed. And we're, if they don't want us there, we don't have to be there. And it's really important for us to build our own community in our own likeness, in our own color. And I'm gonna just say it and keep it 100. Black first, nigga last. Because if we don't put ourselves first and build communities like this for our own sacred space, it's not going to be respected. It's not going to be loved or honored, because a white person can't come in here and say that they've had our trials in the same way. Okay, yeah, you're a drug addict, true enough, we share that. But you didn't wake up black. You didn't wake up with your great grandparents being raped, robbed, pillaged. And I hope I'm not getting off a topic too much, but we need to give attention to that by building community for ourselves that are clean and sober, sacred spaces, and with ones that look like us. I'm not saying that I'm a racist, or we can't be racist because we don't own anything, right? It's hard. Black people really can't be. We don't have the power or the political agency to keep people out, right? We don't own no banks. We don't own no jobs. We don't own grocery stores. We can't say no to people, but they can definitely turn their backs on us and kick us out. So when we have an opportunity to love one another in our own space, that's beautiful. When a newcomer, for me, and I'll give you an example, when I was Oregon and my turn to be a sponsor, I looked for black ones. I look for black people that look like me, because all of the recovery groups were white, mainly all white. And in Oregon, it's only three. Then listen to this statistic though: 3% black, and 75% of that is locked up in Oregon, Portland, Oregon. And when I read those statistics and how blacks wasn't even allowed in Oregon into 1965, they could work, the railroad and hotels. So this is a very predominantly white city that I ended up in and got clean. So it was hard, and I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was easy. Some of them sponsors didn't want to sponsor me. They didn't want to see, they didn't want to see me coming, but the ones who did, they took me in, they loved me, and they treated me very well. So I want to stress how important it is when you do find a sister and a brother that's suffering, hold them, take them, stand with them, just like that baby that's learning to walk all over again, because we need that. We need that touch. We need that tone. We need that eye to eye contact that only we understand. See, if I'm in a room and I can just look at you, Elle, you know what I'm talking about. You know what's up. And
Yeah.
that's
There's a
important
level of
within building
safety.
community.
Yeah, there's a level of safety to that. And the safetiness in your honesty and your safeness in your weakness, when you're able to really truly be authentically honest and safe to be honest in that space, that makes a huge difference. I hadn't even thought about, you know, the importance of an anti-racist space. And it, mainly because I spend so much time in all black spaces, I'm only able to really acknowledge, my privilege in being able to be in those all black spaces. But it is important to find those spaces where you can just be truly and authentically yourself. And then also be honest about your experience, acknowledging that our experiences are layered with, the dealings with a system, a racist system, that also affects our ability to thrive. and survive. And so you're absolutely right. Find a space where you feel like you can be heard, you can be seen, and you can be felt is a huge component. I feel to where you can be honest, where you can be, and you can find your strength in that with you. We're headed on our last few minutes before we leave this episode. Our next episode is going to be about courage. I'm curious about how you get to courage from faith.
By working the program, it's layered first. We admit it, we're honest. We admitted that we're powerless over drugs and our lives had become unmanageable. Once we did that, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We hope, right? We're only sick as our secrets. So once we turned it over and made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of a God, that how we understood God,
Mm.
when we understand God, it builds up to courage. So once again, we've walked into a community, we got community, and now we have the courage to stand. But we'll go more into that in our next episode. Family, please listen. Learn from my experience. Black first, nigga last, and let's do it all over again next week. Thank you.